I have a slightly different view than my 2000 colleague. I don't think they gave him leeway. I think they liked it. And I think that's the recognition. I mean, it's ordinary rock rib Republican primary voters want a candidate that, look, Rand Paul is doing this. When Rand Paul stands up and says, we need to go campaign in the Latino community, the Hispanic community, we need people with tattoos, it strikes a hopeful note among people who may not agree with his views on foreign policy, for example. So I think one of the things is that in 2000 we constantly had this conversation. People would say, well, that's sort of risky by having Bush emphasize compassion conservatism. No, it isn't, because people rallied to it. And so, look, how is Paul Ryan, who represents a district that was carried twice by Clinton, by Al Gore, and twice by Obama, how does he get reelected with 60% of the vote? Because he has an optimistic pro-growth message that is not the typical, Republican message, and he talks about it endlessly in every community in his district. If you're an auto worker, or in Janesville, if you're a Latino family, if you're an African American in the exurbs of Milwaukee, he's making the pitch to you. Now he's got the message better developed than the party does at writ large, but I agree with a lot of what Mike says. My one difference would be is that it's not. If we had candidates with courage who stood up and said, here's my message, and it's an optimistic one, and it will grow our party. I have yet to meet too many Republicans outside of Richard Viguerie whose attitude is, I want fewer people in the Republican Party and fewer victories. I mean, you got to trust a guy. You can't really trust a guy who thought that Ronald Reagan was too liberal in 1984 and supported somebody else for president. But most Republicans like this, and it's just finding the right. It's like Vin. Vin was this kind of Republican. Jack Kemp was this kind of Republican. The kind of Republicans who were broad and thinking about how do we broaden our base, how do we broaden our support, how do we get more people inside the tent, and how do we take our timeless principles and apply them to the new situation which the country finds itself.
I don't disagree. I would only say, though, that moods in parties change. Okay, there are periods when parties are looking for converts, and there are periods when parties are looking for heretics. Okay.
No. No, I disagree. It's not parties, it's leaders in parties. There's sometimes when leaders in parties, the mob goes this way, and a leader can go that way. You think it was easy in 2000 with some of the people we had to deal with, the Gingrich leftovers, the compassion conservatism was sellout. But you know what? The base of the party was responding to it. Mm-hmm. And I remember after the election, we were, Clinton saw Bush. He said, George, when you said that compassionate conservative thing, I knew we were in deep trouble. He said that was just brilliant, because I knew when you keep your people and be able to eat into our that was brilliant, just brilliant. And I love this thing about the base of the party. The base of the party is reflected through their choices in primaries, but it's the leaders who dominate the public dialogue, and we have too many public leaders in that dialogue who are retrogressive and not forward-looking.